Welcome to Master It Monday. We haven't been here in a while, but check out our new intro. We're excited about this one.
Yeah. All right.
With the drums.
We love that. So thanks for joining us. What are we talking about today, Stacey?
Well, we are talking about something we've been doing for a year. So happy anniversary. I know for the people who usually watch us on Master It Monday have not heard this. We mentioned it on Hot Topics last week, but it's a year. I think it was a year on Thursday when we did our first Master It Monday. We did our first live training. Yeah. And we've been doing it for a year. Wanted to talk about what we've learned, what we haven't learned, the mistakes we've made, things we would do differently, how we've shifted throughout the year, and just, I want to talk about those trainings because I think what we've learned a lot.
We've learned a lot, and I think it's important to take those lessons and be able to apply it. So if you've been, hesitant about doing lives, it's a great opportunity to learn from us and understand what we would recommend you do, and then you can go out there right away. So, in the introduction, we didn't start with music. So I don't know. Do you guys want us to keep singing? Because I can sing.
We haven't done that a while. We used to do like a name that tune. It was funny because we'd start and then we'd have people commenting on like what song we were going to be playing and what we were singing, and then we'd get banned because like it was copyrighted, and I'm like, we're not
that's really
good.
Why we stopped playing the songs, because we were getting banned. So if we have to sing now. So
which is not good. Like I can play the music in the background for you if you want to continue to go.
No, it's okay. If I was gonna sing today, I guess I would sing "Video Killed the Radio Star."
Yeah, so we're talking about video. We can play that song. When we're talking about podcasting, we can't.
We can't.
But do you remember? Like, I remember when that song came out, "Video Killed the Radio Star," and I was addicted to videos, like music videos. I would stay up late on Friday nights and watch like Friday Night Video, or that's not what it was called, or maybe it was. I don't remember now.
Don't know either.
And I would record our tape. For those of you who are old enough to know that, on my VHS tape, I would put it in and record so I could watch the videos over and over again.
It's true. Yeah. So, and I mean, a video is still going to be the wave of the future. It's not going away. I know I was speaking with someone yesterday and they wanted to do a call. And I just said, well, it has to be video call because I can't even function that much anymore on the telephone. I need to actually see you. So video is very, very important. It's not going to go anywhere, but we're specifically talking about going live.
Which is different. So it is a little bit of a different beast, even though you can take all the lessons that you've learned from video training. I mean, we've done a lot of video training in the past in regards to sound, mics, camera, angles, making sure that you're looking up all of that video training. All applies when you're doing live. However, when you go live, like we are now, you can't backtrack. You can't do a retake. I couldn't go to Faye. Oh, I didn't like the way that sounded. I didn't like the way I explained that. I didn't like
you're singing.
And like you're singing, or like, let's do a retake, or I made a mistake and I didn't mean to play that video. I meant to play a different intro video. When you're live, and you have to be able to roll with tech hiccups and mistakes and all of that kind of stuff. So I know there was one, I think it was a few weeks ago, we actually did a live from the farm.
Yes.
And we did it from the phone. And if you, I think I need to take this is where I'm like, I think I need to take that video down because it's so bad because we're so choppy because the internet was horrible. It's like
watching. I would rather you watch it the way it is.
Watch it, and it's very robotic.
Mr. Roboto.
So, yeah, exactly. So when the internet goes down, and that's the other thing I remember when we went live one time. You had there was another time that we were going live. We were doing our hot topics, and you actually had a call beforehand that went longer.
Right.
So same thing.
I was on a summit. It wasn't a call. I didn't.
I was on a. That's right. Sorry, you were on a summit.
I was live on the virtual summit.
Right. So you couldn't exactly just kind of go, well, I got to go.
No.
So I think that's the biggest. So I think some of the biggest strategies that we've learned over the year. I mean, we've did it before, but over the past year, number one, biggest one is to focus right away on jumping right into the training. I've mentioned this for many years, but really, really solidified that learning over the past year, which is assume no one's watching and focus on the people who are watching it recorded.
Right. You've never once heard us say, oh, we're waiting for a few more people to join us. Never.
Ever. And those are the people who are, and again, when you go live on specific channels or whatever, what happens, because algorithms on social media are focusing on live content because they have the ability to live stream. So before it was, text-based, then it was image-based, then it was less text. I think they just wanted images. So they were very specific on the ratio of text to image that they were on. And then we went to video, and now they're pushing live probably beyond any other form of any form of content.
Yeah. So for me, my biggest learn, and Stacy's on the tech side, so she's always going to talk about tech. I'm going to talk more about the strategy side, but my biggest is to just relax and don't worry when things go wrong.
Well, I think that's the worry, is that not necessarily just when things go wrong, is that the reason why people wait to show up is because they see that number, they see that 0 viewers,
right?
And they go, oh, well, no one's watching.
Yeah, well, and it's just like, we don't know. Like we did hot topics today, and then we got somebody messaging us that they were watching. We didn't know they were watching. So you never know, and you don't know when they're going. They might be just like, 10 minutes later than they might have just watched the post as opposed to the live. But I think it's very, very important that you understand that whatever your topic is, go with it. If it's choppy, if it's not working, if you made a mistake, that's okay. Just continue talking about what it is that you're there for that day. And I think people appreciate the fact that it is not too glitzed up, that what's happening and what you're saying is reality. So you can tell we don't use scripts. And I, again, highly recommend you don't use scripts on live, because then it sounds like you're reading.
So absolutely. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be prepared. And
no, you have to be prepared. There's a difference.
There's a difference. And I think some people take that as the same. Non-scripted means I can just at any time grab my phone and go, okay, here I am live. We are prepared. No. We are just not scripted because, again, we've been doing this a very long time and we know our stuff. So that's different. Being prepared means if you're going to talk on a certain topic, at least know your information. And the reason why we say jump in right away, don't worry about views, don't worry about who's watching, jump right in, because the people who are watching it on replay, I cannot tell you how much they appreciate that.
Yeah.
And again, 90% of your views are going to be replay. And if they have to sit there for 10 minutes going, well, I'm just going to wait for a few more people to show up.
Yeah. I turn off. I'll click off. I won't watch. If that comes out of somebody's mouth, I'll leave. Because I find that to me, it's like they're not taking me into consideration. I showed up on time, so get on with it.
Well, exactly. And that also shows respect for the content. So it depends. Are you focused on viewers or are you focused on delivering value? And if you're focused on delivering value, then don't worry about the viewers. If people show up and they can, great, because you also have to keep in mind that we've said, like today, we're going to go live at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday.
Right.
I don't have any, my head's not in the clouds over here saying, but everybody must be available when I'm available.
Yeah. Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
And I never focus on views because I can't really see. I don't even know who's watching because I don't have my glasses on. And so there's something to be said about not having to worry about looking for that.
Well, and the fact that, again, just like this morning, like we do our Hot Topics Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 9:00, and the number that shows up on our screen is not correct.
Right.
That's the other problem. Like, some people rely on that number, and I know it's not correct because I knew that there was a few people watching because I was getting messages right during the time, but that number was lower. And then we get a message from this guy saying, "Oh, I caught your thing this morning." I'm like,
yeah. And we're streaming our Hot Topics into LinkedIn. We're streaming them into YouTube and into our community.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell us who's watching from all three of those. So whatever it is, don't worry about it. I mean, just, as I said, be prepared in terms of what you're talking about and start talking, and that's it. Right. And that's number one.
The viewer, number one, if somebody showed up halfway through our training, they can watch the second half live and be able to ask questions. And then if they want to see what they missed, they can watch the first half replay.
Exactly.
So don't worry about that. So people will watch on their own time. The biggest advantage to me going live is the opportunity for someone to show up and be able to interact with you.
Right.
So that's the huge opportunity of going live versus just doing a video. So we could do very easily have done this training. We could have pre-recorded it yesterday, done the video, put it up, and we would be good. You'd absolutely get the value for it. But the biggest difference, I would say, and the biggest opportunity is when you show up and you put in a comment or you put in a question, we can answer it live.
Right.
As opposed to being able to do that later.
And hand in hand with that, another really key learning is the fact that if you go live, you're on a set schedule. And so you're going to show up on that set schedule. Sometimes things happen, but I mean, it will force you to be accountable on those days. So as you are building your viewership, as most people, we've talked about this before, but as most people know, the first couple of times you go live, nobody's going to watch. And then that's when people quit. Right. Yeah. And so we don't look at it. We just say we're going live Monday, twice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, we go live about 5 or 6 times a week, but we stick to that schedule. And so that's why so many of you are now following our lives and watching, because we've been here. So for some of you watching today, this is your first time. But other people, this is your, 500
millionth. Right? I apologize because I did promise you before we were going to come live today that I was going to have a number, and I do not have that number. I know how long it's been. I saw our anniversary date, but I do not know how many videos or how many live streams we've done.
There were weeks, like most weeks at minimum, we're on 4 times a week, but there's lots of weeks that we're on 7, 8, 9 times a week. So there's a lot. And just think about this, the volume of content that we've had in just 1 year. And it doesn't feel like a year, right, Stacey?
It doesn't. And I think, again, because it's okay, we show up, we click the button, and we deliver that value, and then we're done. I like the fact that we can do that. I love the fact that we have the ability to live stream in our world right now. I also don't like the ability that we can live stream in our world right now because, again, people are like, again, public service announcement. I've told this story before. Don't drink in live. Yeah. Right. Unfortunately, sometimes it's too easy to grab your phone and be like, okay, I'm live. That can be a detriment,
of course,
to your brand. It can be a detriment to your business if you are not prepared, because, again, this is now you, and they can see you because the people will get notifications you're live. And if you're drinking while you're going live, it's probably not going to end well.
Yeah. So that's a big lesson too. We haven't done that, but we've watched others.
You have hijacked somebody's live who did start. Unfortunately, they had been drinking a lot, and they clicked that go live button. And you and I both hijacked that particular live. I think it was a few years ago. Yeah. And we learned our lesson via somebody else. So that's good.
So we were good. I mean, we weren't, let's be honest, like as we said, we prepare. We weren't prepared, obviously, but that's okay because the more you do lives, the easier it is for you to jump in. So we just took it and ran with it and did what we wanted to do to make sure that it looked good still for them. It wasn't our live.
No,
right? We were just covering for them. But I mean, you have to have that ability to jump in and not worry about, right? Not worry about it. So we're going to go back to make sure you look presentable and, and make sure that you have something to talk about. So there's always things in the back of your head about your business, about where you are, places whatever you're doing, that you can jump immediately in on and add value still and be cohesive in terms of what you're talking about. So it's really important that you start getting comfortable. And the only way you can get comfortable to do lives is to do lives.
Exactly. Right. So there's a lot of, I think the most questions that we get in regards to going live is, what do I say?
Yeah.
So that's a big one. So to cover the tech pieces, again, very similar to regular video. The only difference is that some platforms like LinkedIn, for example, you need to click and go to a third-party streaming software. So we use a third-party streaming software that allows you to multi-stream as well as singularly stream too. So you can stream right on Facebook and right onto Instagram, but LinkedIn requires a third party. And there's another platform, and for some reason I read it the other day, and they were also requiring third-party platforms. So we use StreamYard, and I know Restream is another one that we use, but it kind of enables you to kind of just click the button, click go live, and you're good to go. Same thing on Facebook. You can click go live. You can do it from your phone. There's nothing that you need from a technical perspective, because literally you could go with your phone, go to your Facebook page and click go live.
And I will say StreamYard, there's a lot of people who are not tech savvy at all who use StreamYard. So you do not have to know much at all. Once you connect to your accounts, which is really just a button, right? Once you connect to your accounts, you can just hit go live and you're done. So don't think that you need to have this big technology background to be able to do this. You don't. So really important to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, even with, Facebook and Instagram, you can do it from your phone. So there's no reason, but again, or from your desktop, be prepared. So Faye, what advice can you give in regards to the question, what do I say when I go live?
So before you decide to go live, we have to backtrack a bit, and you have to understand what it is what's your message? What's your main core message? What do you talk about? What's your business? What's your expertise? And then that's where you start. So you need to get that right. If you can't out of your mouth say in one sentence what you do, then you're not ready to go live, right? So you need to first understand what you do. And then all you're doing is you're going to take little bite-sized chunks of the thing that your experience, your expertise is in, or things that you're doing in your business. Like, for example, we're talking about lives. Why? Because we go live all the time. So then you're going to go ahead and you want to make sure, again, add value. So there's always lessons you want to give. So if somebody comes on your live, they know that when they leave, they're going to have information to be able to move forward on something that you spoke about. Right. And the best advice I can give you in terms of when you're first starting out is if you only want to go once a week, then, or even once a month, whatever you decide to do, then write out all these specific topics, just headlines of what you can talk about. And then, you'll probably have a list of hundreds of ideas. Then you'll never have to worry. You'll always be able to say, okay, let me talk about this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like showing up to a radio show, a TV show, whatever the case may be, where they literally sit you down and it's like, okay, are you ready? Cameras rolling. Can you answer this question?
Yeah.
Start. Let's go. And I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, which we definitely started right in the beginning with, was you don't have to spend a lot of time introducing yourself. A lot of people, when they go live, are like, hi, my name is Stacy. This is Faye. Sorry, this side. This is Faye. Wrong side of the camera. We are this, we are that. And they spend like 2 or 3 minutes doing their huge, long introduction, elevator pitch, whatever you want to call it. And you're sitting there going, can you just get to the content? I know you already. Or if they basically assume they're already fans.
Right.
Your name's already there. You know who we are. It's listed right in front of you, right there.
Yeah.
I hate mirror view. I feel like it's very weird. Our names are there. Our logo's there. Like, we don't need to go into this big explanation about Mastermind City, about us, our background, all of that kind of stuff, because we just want to jump into the training, which is why the lives are there. Right. Now, you can go randomly live. So there's two ways of doing it. You can literally decide, hey, I have something to say. I'm going to grab my phone. I'm going to click go live. And yes, people will be notified that that you're going to live. Great. If they're available to watch, great. Otherwise, they'll watch the replay. No problem. The best way of doing it is to let people know you're going to go live, which is what Faye talked about earlier in regards to accountability. So let them know, like, we tell you we are live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 o'clock for Hot Topics. We are live, Mondays at noon for Master at Monday. We are live. Like, we tell you so that if you can make it, great.
Awesome.
If you can't, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Watch the replay. And we say that for those of you watching us on the replay.
Yeah.
It's no problem. So I think that letting people know is better than the randomness of it. But don't be offended if you say, I'm going to go live at this time and no one shows up, and that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of lives, just so everyone understands. We're participants and viewers as well. I don't know of anyone I watch live. I only watch replays because I just am never available at the time someone goes live. So I always have it in my notes. If I really want to watch it, I will go watch the replay if it's available, right? If there's something that says it's not, then you're only available live, then, I try. But the truth is, for me, I just can't fit it in my schedule. Right. And so you can't be offended by that. You just, maybe one of your viewers who might end up being a really great client, maybe that they watch all the replays and lives and all that stuff only in the evenings because they have a job that they can't.
Or their clients, and they get busy, or life gets in the way, or whatever the case may be. So now, what's the biggest difference for you? Because I know you're you can show up live and whatever. So I tell you, okay, Monday at 12, I need you in your office. We're going to talk about this particular topic, and you're good. You come, you sit down, and you're ready to deliver and have a conversation. Versus that model. Versus, Faye, can you do a 30-minute video on going live? What's the different feel with that? Because a lot of people think the other is easier, whereas I show up at 12 and start talking is easier.
I find doing a video much more challenging than doing a live because, again, I always believe that you should talk about what you know. And so you shouldn't have to script it. So when we say, be prepared, we say be prepared, but don't script. So if I said to Stacy, go talk about LinkedIn for 3 hours, she can just talk about it. She doesn't have to know in advance. She just talk about it, right? If you want to learn how to do speaking as a living, I can talk about it all day long. It doesn't matter. So what's important though, is when you're live, that there's no stop start. There's no stop start. We have people watching us right now. We have an audience, and there's a different vitality and energy that goes along with being live and being interactive. Even if no one's interacting with you, you feel like you're on stage or in a workshop or at a live event. When you do video, you have a tendency of, oh, I didn't like that, stop, right? So if you mess up your words, you just stop it. When we mess up our words, we just say, hey, mess that up.
And you have to keep going.
Right.
Because there's no ability to click stop. Okay, guys, I didn't like what I said there. I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to restart the live. So join me back here in a few minutes. Can you just imagine?
Yeah. So I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with doing pre-recorded. We, no problem. We do a lot of pre-recorded when we do virtual summits and stuff. We do a lot.
Yeah.
But there is a different energy. And when you're trained, it's okay. Because, when I train people, I train them to be, like they're talking live, right? So that you have that energy up. But again, the problem is you can stop it. And once you can stop it, things change. Because you know how you think about when you're on a roll. You know, when you're on a roll, you're talking and everything's clicking, and everything's going great, right? So if I was live and I'm on a roll and I mess up, it doesn't matter. I just keep going. If I'm on a roll and I'm videoing and I stop, the roll's gone.
Yeah, the energy's gone. Exactly. Yeah. No, I think probably that's been my biggest learning. I have to say that even a year ago, before we started to do lives, you know, there's a little bit of nervousness to it. You know, what if I mess up? What if I, you know, something comes out of my mouth, whatever. But you're absolutely right. The best way to get used to doing lives is start to do lives. Yeah. And stick to a schedule. I think that was our biggest takeaway, or biggest
one thing that changed everything. That was it.
Yeah, I think I would say the same thing, was that we knew Monday at noon, you know, we were going to be live. And I think the biggest thing was if somebody said to me, "Oh, are you available Monday at noon?" I had to say no.
Yeah.
Because we were going to be live. So we had already kind of had that accountability out there to tell people, okay, you know, we're going to be going live at this particular time. As opposed to, can you have a video done for me today? And somebody said, "Oh, are you available?" And I would have said yes. So it's very easy to push off. I'll do that later. I'll push that off. I'll do that later. Yeah. Whereas when you commit to your audience that you're going to go live at a certain time, you're going to go live at that time and you're going to deliver that content. And again, you get used to jumbling over your stuff. I've had tech issues where I've had the wrong information up. We've ran into situations where internet's gone down.
A lot.
Especially recently. Yeah. You know, but you roll with it. We've had situations where I've been kicked out of the live and you're like, well, I don't know where she is right now, so I'll just continue talking.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's kind of like you're on stage. And I think that's your biggest.
You don't get to stop and go, "Oh, I screwed up. Let me go start my speech all over again."
Go off the stage. We'll do take two. Well, there is no take two anymore when you're going live. So be prepared. Big one. That doesn't mean scripted. That means be prepared. Know what you're going to say. Jump right into your content with lives, because the people who are watching it replay will be very thankful for that. Schedule it ahead of time, because you will be accountable, as opposed to doing a pre-recorded video. You will be accountable from that perspective.
Right.
And become familiar with the tech. Like, I know it's not a lot of tech. These third-party streaming softwares make it extremely easy to do this, but test your equipment ahead of time. Know if, are you choosing this mic? Go into the settings and make sure that your mic is working. You can do a test.
And just on that note, I mean, just before we came on, my my dongle that I attached my phone, my microphone and my camera stopped working. So I have another one. Obviously, I always have backup. So I just switched it. But for a lot of people, they would be like, "Oh no, I can't go live," or whatever. But I would have just used my regular webcam and I would have used the microphone that's on my Mac. It's not that big a deal. The reason we use the other equipment, like the Yetis and stuff, is because the sound is clearer, but the sound is good enough right on your Mac or on whatever desktop you're using. So don't get hung up on the tech part, because people will always tell you every single time, "I don't go live because I don't understand technology." That's just a cop-out. Big cop-out.
Yeah, you can use your phone. You can use your laptop. Right. You don't need extra equipment. Literally, you can go onto your Facebook page and click a button. There's no tech requirement whatsoever. You can literally do a text-based post that says, "I'm going to go live at 9:00 tonight." Just be careful of time zones. That's my other, I would say that's my other takeaway, and the biggest learning that we've done over the past year is that we'll say, "We're going to go live at noon." Right. And then I remember us getting questions like, "When? Is that Pacific time? Is that Eastern Standard Time? Is that?" And then I know at the beginning of this year, I was in the East Coast of Canada. So I had to switch everything to Atlantic Standard Time. So just pay attention to time zones. I would say that's probably the other biggest thing, because we assume that when we say noon, well, we both live in the same time zone. So we know it's noon. We know what time zone that is. But sometimes you forget about the fact that anything you put out on social media can literally be for a global audience.
Right. And so let me, I just want to emphasize one thing. We have a global audience. So our community members are from all over. And we have looked at, what's the best optimum time so that everyone could get access and stuff. At the end of the day, you will do a much better job at delivering value if you do it on your schedule.
Yes.
So if 12 o'clock on Mondays works well for both of us, right? It is not ideal for everyone in the globe, but they can watch the replays. Because if it was uncomfortable for us, if 4 o'clock, which is usually a good time, if 4 o'clock on a Monday would be the best time globally to get an audience, it won't work for either one of us. And we would not come on to the live feeling great about giving you guys information. It would feel more like a chore. It doesn't feel like a chore. We enjoy coming on this. We enjoy doing our lives because it fits within our schedules.
Absolutely. And when you deliver good content, again, remembering that most people are going to watch you on replays anyway.
Right.
So if you deliver good content, then it doesn't matter what time you're live. And I know we've gotten some pushback with some people going, well, wait a minute, over in New Zealand or Australia, that's not going to work. Or if we go even sometimes on Friday night, well, that ends up being, midnight or early in the morning. And I just can't, I think we remember we were on, I think one of our Friday night tiki bars, somebody had joined us from literally from Australia. And they're like, well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning here. So
we're not having a drink. Yeah. But you can't, I mean, again, it's about the vibe and the energy, and lives are all about that. And you can tell if somebody doesn't want to be on something and it's forced. So if that's the feeling, then don't do it. Just don't do it. It doesn't matter if you're going to miss some people, somewhere else. It's irrelevant. You have to be enjoying. I really, truly believe it. It's never felt, I don't think, Stacey and I are really honest when we're on here. We don't get off and then all of a sudden go, oh, that sucked, or that was boring, or whatever. We actually, we like going on. We've never once said to each other, we got to go on today, right? Have we ever said that?
Ever. I think we did cancel this past Friday. First time that we'd canceled.
First time ever.
And it was simply because I had my COVID shot the day before, and I had not slept, and I was literally non-functional.
Yeah. And I was going to do it on my own, but I was the one with the bad reception at the farm.
Yeah. So
and I thought, if I go out, there's nobody to pick it up. So, if I was here, if I was at my home office, then I would have just done it on my own. But, then there would have been blank screen.
But then, so again, in a year, one time, and that was, very specific circumstances. And I think, again, it's because of that accountability. So I feel like when you are going to go live and you tell people you're going to do something,
right,
whether you have somebody calling you out or following you or not, that is accountability. Like, I love putting stuff out there. That's why people have communities. That's why people join groups. That's why people join clubs, because they need that accountability. And when we put it out there that says we're going to be going live at this time, that's our accountability. And we don't bow down to that. And I think that's been a really good learning. And that's what I would encourage others to do as well, that's why you tell people you're going to go live, because you will.
And a lot of you do newsletters, right? You guys probably do newsletters, and you do every Monday or every Friday or whatever it is, you put out a newsletter, and that holds you accountable to doing that newsletter, right? So, and I wrote a newsletter for years and years and years, and I never missed that date. I was always, this is the date that I send out every single week. So there's no difference. This is just like a video newsletter, right? So it's the same thing. It's just, to be honest, for a lot of people, this is a lot easier because, I love to write, but I don't like to correct myself. So I'm not very good at like checking grammar, spelling mistakes, right? Whereas some people, are perfect at it. So, pick your lane and decide what you want to do. And if you think that, you've never done a newsletter, but you're more than happy to get out and talk on video, then just do it. Like, it's better for a lot of us.
Absolutely. I'm just going to do a little bit of a cautionary, exactly the same situation that we were in, which is why we did not go live. don't go live if you are not going to do, if you don't feel your best
Right.
or you don't feel good, because you're going to come on here and be like, I don't even know the state that I would have been in on Friday morning. You go, no, we need to go live. I'd have been like, I don't know what I said. And it would not be, I would not have felt good about it. I would not have been able to deliver good content. It would not have been a good conversation. Yeah. So we made the decision not to do that. And that's okay.
Yep.
Like that, I think you, again, you need to understand that it's okay if you need to cancel, kind of like,
the world continues to revolve.
Exactly. The world will continue. Exactly.
As the world turns. Yep. That was a show thing. Back in the day.
Exactly. Those soap operas. Same thing if you're going on stage, again, be prepared. If the lights go out or the system breaks down or the complete tech, whatever happens, you're still going to deliver that content. So same thing. If you're going to go live and something happens in the tech hiccup world, roll with it.
Yeah.
We've laughed at ourselves. People have said, you've got a really bad echo. I'm like, I know, I'm trying to fix it. Yeah. I've literally taken myself. I think there was one we were doing and I'm like, I'm just going to take myself out of here for a second. So I put myself in the green room in the background. And then I was able to kind of work on the tech stuff. But if I didn't, we still would have rolled with it because the recording we knew was going to be okay.
Right.
Because sometimes that happens as well. So don't get caught up in the tech, roll with it. It is what it is. And if you just really don't feel good, you have permission. I'm giving you permission.
Yeah, don't do it.
To stay home. Don't go live. Yeah. The world will continue.
Yeah. And you have to keep that in mind. I mean, it should be enjoyable. It should be good for your business. It should be good for your viewers. And if any of those elements aren't there, then just sit on the couch and eat bonbons and watch Netflix.
Exactly. So equipment, we've talked about equipment, we've talked about lives. What's been your favorite part of going live over this past year?
You know what? I think my favorite, we enjoy doing it. The interesting thing for me, two things. One is on Hot Topics. We don't discuss anything before, and we're always in sync. For some weird reason, we always end up on the same kind of vibe, and it fits in together. And that's just chemistry. And so if you have somebody that you think you can work with, it's much easier to go live with somebody else. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that when you're with a partner, it's more fun. And it's just, for me, it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the feedback. I love the fact that we get so many messages that say, you guys, I learned so much today. And that's what keeps us going, right? When we hear that and they join our community because they want to listen more and get more access, we know what we're doing is right. We're adding value. People are listening. They're enjoying it and we're enjoying it. You can't fake that. Okay. You can't fake if you're enjoying yourself or not.
Exactly. So, and you know what? If you don't know what you should talk about, ask your audience.
Yeah.
Like, you can ask them. They will give you I'd like to know the answer to this question, or could you elaborate more on that? We get a lot of questions around video, which I feel like we do talk a lot about video, but it's important. Social media focuses on live, especially video content and live content, all the different channels. They're all able to do it now, all differently, which is kind of cool. And it started way back, I think Periscope. Does that even exist anymore?
Oh,
Periscope days. I remember the first time I used Periscope was the first time I went live ever.
Yeah.
I clicked the button and it was like, oh, and it was kind of interesting. So I kind of go, okay, well, again, you teach in speaker training, right? Think about that, guy with the cameraman coming to you and asking you a question. You need to be prepared on the spot to be able to answer that. So that's what I like about this. And also the accountability, because sometimes, you know what, I'll be completely honest and transparent, like we always are. Sometimes, I'll wake up on a Wednesday morning and be like, oh, I'd so love to sleep in right now. I don't want to get out of bed, but I know that people are expecting you need to be on at 9:00. So I don't have a choice. I get up, I get myself ready, and we're camera ready by 9:00. So
Stacey is not saying she doesn't want to do it. That's not what she's saying.
No, I do. But it motivates me to get out of bed.
Yeah.
like, that's the difference. I'm not saying I'm dreading it, but you know what? That split second when you wake up going, oh,
absolutely. It's like, it's like anything. Oh, I have to go grocery shopping. Like it's the same thing. It's just that, oh, I'd like to just stay in my bed. Right. So it's
but
not
it motivates
that you don't
me.
want to do your life.
Because I enjoy doing it. It motivates me to do it. I enjoy it. So therefore I know, so it pushes me to, but then I also know that I'm here and I'm like, okay, I've grabbed my coffee. Like, so how are you? You know?
Yeah.
So if you don't enjoy it, if you think it's going to be stressful, don't do it.
Don't do it.
But understand that if you're going to do a recorded video, I know people who will do like 92 takes.
Right.
And I'm sure take 92 is not that much better than take 1.
No. So I will give a little plug to ourselves, just so because, and it's literally a public service, because there are people that are watching right now and are listening and get it, and they're still, I'm not sure my message is right. I'm not sure if I know how to speak. I'm not sure if I know how to do the video. So, you know, answering all those questions, we put together a program called Global Impact Accelerator, and that it covers everything there is to know about getting yourself out there. So we cover videos and podcasts and speaking, you name it. And so by the end of 8 weeks,
lives.
and lives, and by the end of 8 weeks, you are ready to do whatever it is, and you will never have to worry about fear of what to say or tech or anything. So we are doing a new launch July 1st. You can still get the program now. Just message us. We don't have any links to give you because we weren't going to. I'm sure Stacy's like, were you planning to say that? No, I wasn't. But I also know.
You saw my eyes go, do I need a link? Do I need a link? What link is it?
So I just want to make sure that if you're listening to that and you're still like, oh, I don't know where to start, the Global Impact Accelerator will absolutely walk you through it. And I think this is going to go on our podcast too. So what link should they go to, Stacy? joingia.com. Just in case, because there's nothing worse than somebody telling you about something, but not telling you how to get there. So exactly. It's like, you know, it's like, here's the name of it, but, oh, there's no GPS on that.
So we do have a comment from our community that just says that used to be me, 92 takes. Maybe that's where I got the number from. But now they can do it in 1. So I think that's another learning that we don't really anticipate is when you do lives and you realize that you can't stop, restart, go backwards, that kind of stuff, is that your video it is freeing. But also when you go to do a video and you just pretend you're live, and you know that you can't do a retake, and if you stumble over your words, you go, oh, well, sorry about that. That's in the recording. Who cares? It actually helps your video recordings as well.
Yeah. And you know what's cool? Live. You become a better guest. You become a better guest when people ask you to be on a podcast or a virtual summit. I get asked a lot to be on virtual summits, and they always tell me the topic and they go, we'll send you questions. And I always say, no, thank you. I don't want any questions. Just, you know, when I'm there, I'm good. I know the topic. I know what my take is on the topic. So we're good. So you become a much better guest than people that are trying to rehearse answers from questions that they were given in advance. Right?
Well, the problem with that is that when they have the question in advance, what do? They also have the scripted answer in advance, and then they mess up their own answer.
Right. And then what happens when the host veers off and they ask you something that's not on the page? Like that, I always find it amusing. I just did a virtual summit. I just did the virtual summit with when I was late. Remember when I didn't show up on time for Stacy?
And I sang on my own. I think people were very sad because I was singing on my own, and they're like, oh, this isn't good.
But when I was on this summit, I could see you when you're good at, you know, when you've been doing speaking your whole life, you could see the different guests, because there was 6 of us, I think. You could see in their brain, they were thinking about their answer. So there was a point that I was speaking, and I was speaking about a specific topic, and then I threw it you. That means you ask somebody else on the panel to answer. So I threw it to somebody, and I said, what do you think of that X? She wasn't listening to me because she was so focused on her stuff and she didn't know what to say. She's like, oh, can you repeat? Like, you could tell she wasn't listening.
Oh, that's not good, because you're right. Somebody does, when you're having a conversation, all they're doing is waiting for you to stop talking,
my turn,
so that I can then talk, but I'm not listening to what you're saying.
So
yeah, that's a totally different.
It was so fascinating. But when you're doing lives, you're good. You know, like Stacy's, what she's been asking me, I don't know. She's just asking me questions. I don't know what she was going to ask me.
And that's better, because actually I remember being on you're right, it does make you a better guest, but I remember being on a podcast that you were on. And I remember you saying, oh, he asks sort of the similar question at the end. And I was going to go listen to what that question was. And I stopped myself, because I said, I don't want to know what the question is.
Right.
As soon as I know what the question is, all I'm going to be doing is thinking about how I was going to answer that question and what was going to be the perfect way to script that answer.
Yeah.
And I think
and I'm not a big fan of, okay, I know a lot of you guys do it, and I'm not a big fan of when you ask every guest the exact same question. I really don't like that. Yeah. Because to me, again, when we're talking about going live, to me, that means you are just going down your list and you're not listening to what the guest is saying, because your focus is on the next question.
Right.
And, but I felt it.
Yeah. And you do.
Yeah.
Because again, you're listening for them to stop talking versus listening for them to continue the conversation. And and there is incredible people out there who are amazing at being interviewers.
Right. Incredible.
Right. And I think that's probably the biggest thing, is that they really, they're in that moment. They're listening to what the person's saying and they're continuing that conversation. They don't have a list of questions. And
I'm like the worst guest for somebody that has a list of questions, because when I start talking, I just keep talking. So, you know, I veer out to wherever I think our conversation should be going based on our discussion. So, you know, so I'll be out here, and then they'll try to ask the next question, and it doesn't make any sense at all.
So you can see them sifting through their papers.
So don't do it. So again, do more lives and be comfortable. Be comfortable with talking about just being live without a lot of information in advance. Be comfortable with it. And then you will be a better guest. You'll be a better person for somebody to hire if they need your expertise. Everything will work out for the best. So, you know, prove that you are an expert in what you do, or that you are knowledgeable. Prove that you can talk about this. Don't worry about whether you get everything right.
Well, I think that's probably the biggest, I was listening. I'm going to comment on what you said. The biggest difference is with the pre-scripted questions, you can do that on video. You can do a pre-recorded video. I can look at your question and I can go on video and answer that question. When you're live, it's more like you don't get the questions in advance, because what ends up happening is somebody can ask you a question on your live.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll answer that question. And you continue that conversation, because you don't know what they're going to ask.
And before
a good guest.
We get any messages and you say, what if I don't know the answer to that question? Your answer would be, I don't know the answer to that question, but let me find out and I'll get back to you.
And I'll post it below.
That's it. Like, it's okay to say you don't know, because you don't know everything, right?
And I think that really does hold people up, unfortunately, and it sometimes does prevent people from going live, because they're not sure the questions that they're going to get. That will also help you in the future, again, become better at it, which again, like they said earlier, makes you a better guest.
Yeah. I mean, we get questions. We used to get questions on Tech Tuesday. We would always be introducing our latest tech that we like. And so we would get a question about a tech that we'd never heard of. And we'd be like, we don't have an opinion. We never heard of it.
But I was frantically writing the name of it down, because as soon as we got off the live, I was going and checking that out. And I remember, we would just jump in afterwards and be like, you know what, thanks so much. We looked into it. It's very similar to XYZ, or wow, this is the best thing. I can't believe I've never heard of it.
Exactly.
And that was okay. So on to year 2. Should we? Yeah.
On to year 2. So our biggest advice is to just hit the button and start going, right? Just do it. Put a date in your calendar. I would say, you want to be accountable. This is my biggest piece of advice that I want to leave you with, and then Stacy will leave you with hers. My biggest piece of advice is absolutely schedule in your brain, decide what you want to do. If you want to go live once a week, do not announce it yet. Go live once or twice without spreading the word, and see if you actually like going live. If it works with your schedule, if you enjoy it, if you know the tech. Do not say, I'm going to be live every Wednesday at 12 o'clock all year long, and then you go live and you realize you hate it, and then stop. So do it once, make sure you like it, and then move along and do it the rest of the time. That's my advice.
That is very, very good advice, because I hear that a lot. I want to start a podcast, and it's like, have you recorded anything? And they're like, no, go do that first.
Yeah.
And you might hate it.
It's hard to talk by yourself, like for even 10 minutes, right? It's hard to make it interesting. So yeah. What's yours, Stacey?
I would say my biggest piece of advice after doing it is just test the tech.
Yeah.
Just for love of everything, just test the tech. Just make sure it's working. Whether you're going to use your phone, just test your sound, make sure that, your mic is connected, just double check everything. That will just, once it's working and you click that go live button, your stress will go down immensely.
Right.
And you can simply focus on delivering the content that you want to deliver to the people who are listening or the people who are watching it replay later.
Yeah.
So I would
just, you've seen those people that say, are we live? Am I live? Yeah. Don't be one of those people.
Exactly. I don't know what, hang on one sec. And then you get all of that. And I think that was our actually very, very, very first one many, many years ago, when you had to connect 3 or 4 different softwares.
Yeah.
And we were trying to make this work because we were having a guest on. I think it was actually in your kitchen. And I got a text from somebody going, you guys are live. And we are, what?
That's right.
Oh, whoops. So again, learn from our mistakes. But that was, again, it was not easy back then, right? We had 4 or 5 different things that we were trying to connect, and it was not cool. So test the tech.
Test the tech.
All right. Enjoy Master Monday. What do we have coming up? We have a busy week this week in the community.
Very busy week. We have hot topics on Wednesday and Friday, and a really exciting piece that we've just launched. So if you are watching us and you are not on our list, you're not on Mastermind City, I want you to go there, themasterminds.city, and I want you to sign up, because what we have free is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have a short video book summary of the world's greatest books. So if you don't have a day to read a book, in like 10 minutes, you will have a video summary of that book. And it changes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. On top of that, if you go into our Mastermind City community and join our free book club, free, then not only can you get the links to the video summaries, but any past summaries that you missed, you will get the written version, which is basically a 1-pager that tells you every key point of that book. So I'm really excited about this. It's just launching today. I don't even think our newsletter went out yet. So you're going to know before everybody on our list.
Exactly. And I want to hear about the books. I want to hear what people think about the books. So that's where in that book club, we're going to have conversations about the books as well.
And we're going to do some special classes on some of our favorite books as well in that book club. So you want to look out for that. On Friday, it is our Life Impact Club. And I am going to take you through Introduction to Feng Shui. So I'm really excited. I'm a master Feng Shui practitioner. I've done it for, I think, 25 years or so. And we're going to talk a lot about not only understanding the energy that Feng Shui is, but understanding how you can use that energy in your business, whether it is to revamp your website, to gain more clients, or to use it in your life to change the energy and flow around you. So really fun class. I know you're going to enjoy it. You can, again, visit our Mastermind City community or Mastermind City main page, and you can find out all about it. And then coming up next Monday, is it, Stacey? Next Monday is our Year of Being Epic, our mid-year
challenge. I'm excited about that one. That one starts.
So we do our challenge every single January, and it's 5 days. It completely will revamp your business. It will tell you exactly what to focus on. You're going to end up with a 1-page year planner, so you'll know exactly what to do. And then we run it again mid-year for people that either didn't achieve what they wanted to the first half of the year, realize they actually need a plan, so you can jump in it, or if you just want to refresh. So a really exciting challenge, and that starts on Monday. And if you would just sign up to our newsletter, you'll make sure not to miss any of these things, because we have so much going on. We usually forget to actually promote it all.
I know. Well, there's a lot. So just go to events in the community and check out what you want to do and how you want to sign up. So, all right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.